All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the stream. I see I have a few friends in here already. Let me go through and say hello. Okay, we've got Margot in the house, McKenna in the house. I'm gonna just click through and highlight a bunch of these, but uh, praying to the writing gods, Evelyn's vibes will cure me. I'm gonna do my best. Uh, Fingers crossed. Definitely coming in with good vibes, so hopefully. Let's see. They shall, they must. What's that chant, that they used to say on that cheer show on Netflix? They used to say, like, we can, we will, we must. Something like that. That's gonna have to be our mantra for tonight. We can, we will, we must. Forest ambiance, already helping. Great. Yeah, I feel like that kind of is almost like a meditative moment before you, have to jump in. Let's see. McKenna's asking everyone what they're working on today. All right, having a snack, eating first, then doing some edits. McKenna's twinning with Margot. Nice. Dami's here. Let's go. Love it. Love to see the support for sure. Some of you guys are just always like on AuthorTube supporting everyone, and I just think it's so cool that you're in my stream, like streaming with me now. It feels really cool. Ian, I need some of those AuthorTube Voog lamp glasses. I wonder what that is. I have never heard of that. McKenna says, hi, Dami. Dami saying hi to everyone. Man, everybody's saying hi to everybody. Beth is here too. Look at this. What a group tonight. All right. The queen arrives. I think, yes, Dami's a queen. Let's see. Hey, Beth. Oh, Ash is here. I was on your stream. Like, I was watching the stream last night, Ash, of you and Saoirse, right? I'm still learning how to say her name, but Saoirse. That was a great time. I will admit, I watched for a long time. I didn't write, but I got a bunch of video editing done that I needed to get done. So that was very productive and very helpful. Okay. Yes, what a great crowd. What a crowd. All right. Well, I would say we can chat, but I kind of feel like my streams are somewhat of a like a writing boot camp, and I'm kind of okay with like spinning that wheel and jumping into a stream or into a sprint if you guys agree. I mean, let me know what you think. But let's see, 4 hour. Ash, you had it went for 4 hours. I was on there for a while, but I didn't stay till the end. I put in there. I was like, I gotta go to bed. I'm too old. I've got a bedtime of like 9:30, 10 o'clock. That's when I hit a wall usually, unless I'm deep into editing a video or something. But I think Ian's saying work is in like he's down to do a sprint possibly. Wait, I don't think I'm nah, Dami. You're the queen. You're the queen. I mean, I appreciate you saying that, but I think that was totally towards you. But I do appreciate the props. I do. Work, work, work. Yeah, I feel like these streams, because I don't have anyone on with me to gab with, they kind of turn into writing boot camp, but I'm okay with that, you know? But eventually I will say, the more I hang on that, or the more I kind of creep in the Discord, I'm like, maybe I will do a StreamYard stream at some point and try and like stream with someone because it looks so fun, you know? So we'll see. But at least for now, like flying solo, I feel like my streams are more like drill oriented. And that's okay, because we all come out on the other side having been much more productive. So I love the Ferris wheel. Oh, spin the wheel. I was like, okay, you gotta bear with me. I'm so tired today. That took me a minute to catch what that was referring to. Love the queen emojis. I'm not writing right now. Gotta finish up a beta read for Saoirse. Okay, no problem. Hey, anything productive is welcome here, I feel like, you know? It was Chef's Kiss. I recommend the rewatch. Okay, might have to. Might have to. Yes, okay, Ian's with me. Yeah, I feel like it's sometimes nice to just crank out some good solid work, you know? I want to be as productive as you, Evelyn. Ash, I feel like you're pretty productive. From what I saw on the stream last night, you seem pretty freaking productive. So, yeah, I think you're right here with me for sure. And Brooke is here. Hello, Brooke. We've got such a good group in here. Everyone's gonna kill it tonight. I can feel it. Gonna cook while the stream is happening. No problem. No problem. I was thinking today, I really do want to do at some point like a stream where I stay up a little later. I just need to mentally prepare myself for that. So, like I said, if I ever do that, I'll put it in the title or something. But I do want to do a stream that runs a little later, just for everyone that's not in the Eastern time zone, because I know this kind of hits around dinner time for a lot of y'all. But all right, I think if y'all are ready, if you want to tell me to spin that wheel, we can spin the wheel. We can make it happen. You know? But let me know if that's what you want to do. And we'll get right into a sprint here. But you gotta let me know. You gotta tell me to spin that wheel. If y'all want the wheel spun. That's how this works. Somebody's gotta let me know. Alright, Margot, that works. We'll take it. Alright, here we go, guys. We're gonna see. Oh, goodness. Praying for... I don't even know what I'm praying for. Maybe like I feel like a cute, like 25, 30 to start us off. Alright, we got some more of you now coming in. Coming in with the, spin that wheel. Spin the wheel. Wheel me. Here we go. 6 hours! Ian, you're unhinged. You're unhinged. You were unhinged on, Ash's stream last night. Coming in hot with a 1 hour sprint. I don't think so. I'm hoping we're going to start with something much more manageable. But, you know, the wheel has a mind of its own, so let's see what happens. Alright, yeah, my thoughts exactly, McKenna. Alright, let's go. Oh my god! Ian? That's your fault. I'm putting that on you. Justifiably so. Look what happened. Look what happened. Ian. Let's see. I gotta get this set up now for a 1 hour starting sprint. My goodness. Because the wheel is God here. We don't fight the wheel. We're going to just let it be. Let it push us where we need to go. Oh my gosh. Let's see what's happening in the chat here. I promise to actually write later. No problem, Brooke. No problem whatsoever. Happy to have you here in any capacity, even if it is while you cook dinner. Totally fine. Yeah, you know you did that. Yo, exactly. Not what I was expecting. I've never gotten a 1 hour off the top. Yeah, this is gonna be a little intense. I know. Especially to get it right at the top. And I think we had it, did we have it as our last sprint last time? So we've had them, you know, kind of like one right against the other. I'm actually happy for a 1 hour sprint. Okay, hey. I'll take it. Yeah, we got a 1 hour, Dobby. 1 hour. We're blaming it on Ian, though, because he brought it up in Ash and Saoirse's stream last night. He came in hot with he was like, we should do a 1 hour sprint. And so I think he brought that energy in here. That's what I think happened. At least Dami's happy. Dami and Ash are both happy about the 1 hour. I think I'll be happy once we dive into it. Yeah, we had it last time. I just can't remember if it was like our last sprint or second to last sprint. I don't know. But I've got it all queued up. So, that being said, I think we're going to go ahead and dive right into things here. I have an action scene coming up that I need to write, so I may need every bit of this 1 hour, honestly. So I'm wishing you all luck. Okay, good luck, good juju, all the things. And I will see you on the other side of the hour. All right, how did that sprint go for everyone? No problem. No problem, Ian. I have to say that was like a brutal but necessary sprint for me. I ended up actually deciding, and this was not on my radar remotely at all, but I ended up deciding to cut like just short of 900 words out of nowhere because I just knew that the scene I was writing was not working the way it was planned. And I'm much happier in the direction I'm going now, but God, was that gut wrenching to just like highlight and slash all those words and make that shift. It's also so hard to deviate. Like, I struggled deviating from my outline, but I just know this is a small deviation, and I just know it's the right thing for the scene. But God, that hurt. McKenna did some beta reading. Nice. Very cool. Very productive. Let's see. Beth got 6 chapters read, only 15 more to go. And Beth is doing beta reading also for Saoirse, I believe. Let's see. Margot 8 and read through the next scene. Nice. Ash says, still in the brainstorming phase for a project, but I feel like I had a breakthrough of the opening. Nice! We love a good breakthrough, you know? I feel like you and I maybe were telepathically connected there, like on the same wavelength, because that's what I feel like I had a bit of a breakthrough with this scene. Wasn't expecting it, but Christina's here. Welcome, Christina. Hey everyone, joined in the middle of that sprint, so I just ate some food, but I'm super excited about drafting this next thing in my work in progress. Very nice, Christina. We're excited to have you here. Yeah, I feel like this is why I kind of like having the wheel is I don't think any of us wanted to do that 1 hour sprint other than maybe Ian. Um, but it actually, as brutal as that was for me, I feel like it was very productive. And looking back at everything that you guys are saying you got through, I feel like it was productive for everyone. And sometimes you need those longer sprints to have those realizations, because that's not necessarily going to hit you in a 25-minute sprint. Okay. I only wrote 219 words, but I had to reread, so I knew what the heck I was doing, working on book 6 tonight. Oh my God. I cannot even imagine doing 6 books. Like, I know you're working on a very extensive, like, series, right, Ian? So it makes sense, but good God, I could never do that. I'm gonna be thrilled to finish this book, you know? Like, it'd be cool to write 6 books someday. I think that'd be awesome, but God, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of commitment, you know? Oh my goodness. Yeah, how many words did I end up getting after it wasn't much. Let's see. Yeah, I got about 212 new words, and ended up cutting almost 900. But it was necessary. It was a good thing. I'm just going to choose to believe it was the right call. I really think it was. So, oh my God. Can't believe I totally shifted that. But anyways, all right. How are we feeling, people? Do we want to go into another sprint? Are we ready for another sprint after that 1 hour? Do we need to gab for a little bit? I'll be honest, it's not the easiest thing to make sure the characters and subplots are consistent between books. Yeah, that would be very difficult to do, I feel like. I would think that the subplots especially would be hard. That's what, in my outline, I have like a list of all my subplots, color-coded, and it's only for 1 book. I can't even imagine carrying it through multiple books. But I have a list with all my subplots color-coded, and then I have a column in my outline where I do pacing for all the subplots just to make sure that everything is kind of evenly paced, and I'm not leaving a subplot unaddressed for like an extended amount of time. I'm struggling with characters for my contemporary romance, so I can't even imagine. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like continuity between books is something I hear about a lot. Like when I watch author panels and stuff, that seems to be a common struggle with like even very prominent authors. I know Brandon Sanderson, I watch a lot of his lectures and stuff, and he has his own company now, obviously, but he has someone on staff that all they do is keep track of continuity for him. So they like read his whips, his works in progress, and then flag anything that would disrupt the continuity. So that would be very helpful if you could have a whole person on staff just to do that for you, but yeah, I would imagine that'd be rare. I have fear of commitment when it comes to books. I don't think I've ever had sequel ideas for my whips. Yeah, I feel like if you're going to do a series, you think about it. I mean, I would imagine you think about it earlier, right? Like my book is currently, the book I'm doing now, I currently have outlined as at least a duology. Like I knew going into it that the outline for this first book was going to start and end where it starts and ends, so that then the pacing will still be really solid for the second book. Like it'll still be very, I don't want to say dense, but like there's enough there for a second book comfortably. Too stressful. Yeah. I've seen your spreadsheets. Incredible. I'm not the best at planning, so I keep everything in my head, which is about to explode. Yeah, I feel like people have totally different tactics. Like, again, Brandon Sanderson calls it, I think they call it gardening versus being, you're either a gardener or an architect. And I definitely think I err more on the architect side, but there are people that swear by the gardener side. Like, I think Stephen King is one of the people that says he doesn't outline, he thinks it takes away from the organic kind of like storyline and creativity that could be achieved within a book. So people have totally different views, but I know for myself, I need to have that outline in order to then kind of like be a pantser in between each plot point. So that's so real. My characters are changing so much in this one draft. I have to go back and do some serious revising for my characters. Yeah, it's hard. I can already tell too, like for my female main character for my book, I was already thinking today, I was like, you know, and I have a whole character sheet too with all my character traits and their subplots and how they're kind of connected to one another. But I was already thinking, I was like, I need to make some changes to my like female main character, just small changes to make her more polarizing, I guess would be the way to put it. Because it's not necessarily likable, but more polarizing. Because I feel like she's almost being outshined by some of the secondary characters, which is not a great thing, so. But I am glad as I go along, I'm getting to know my characters better. Yeah, I feel like you definitely learn more about your characters as you write. Like, I'm obviously not very far into my first book, but I do feel like that's true. And when I used to see people say that on vlogs, you know, they talk about how you're writing a chapter and your character does something that you didn't expect. I'd be like, yeah, okay. Like, yeah, right. But no, I think it really does happen now that I've actually tried writing. What is the planter term for gardener versus architect? Planter is the gardener. Architect is like the plotter. Or planter, oh, sorry, the crossover term. Yeah, it probably would be, I don't know, glarchitect. I like it. Glarchitect, I could run with that, you know? Architectner. May I suggest landscaper is a solid, that's a solid term right there. A solid recommendation. I actually think that's a great one. Yeah. I think I would be a gardener if I had a better memory. Yeah, me, see, that's the thing for me too. Is like, I personally, especially when I'm in school, I do not have the time to write every single day. And I need my outline to look back at to like remind myself where the heck I'm even at in the story and what needs to come next. Yeah, I would lose track way too quickly. Yeah, landscaper is genius actually. My thoughts exactly. All right. Yeah, Margot's on top of it tonight. Gold star for Margot for coming up with landscaper. I think that's going to have to remain a term on this on these lives that we use, because yeah, I think a lot of people identify more as planters, like an in-between. And even if you're an architect, even if you're like me and you like outline to the nines, you're still planting to some degree. You can't plan everything out beforehand. So yeah, Ian's giving you the gold star, Margot. Oh, I skipped a step, or skipped a chat. Oh Lord, I can't be a gardener. I kill plants. LOL, but I am 100% a discovery writer, Pantser, though I'm forcing myself to plot for my series. Nice. Yeah, I've heard, I've watched some panels of people who are pantsers, slash discovery writers, whatever you want to call it, and they've said, like, yeah, when I do a series, I have to outline at least, like, just the main, like, beginning, middle, end plot points. Yeah, I hear that helps, so. Someone alert Stephen King. Yeah. I hear he identifies pretty much purely as a discovery writer, though. I don't know that he's necessarily an in-between, but yeah, he very heavily encourages people to just sit and write. But he writes like super fast. He could write like a book a month, I feel like. It's wild. But anyways, all right. Well, this was a nice little chit chat. How do you all feel about doing another sprint? I know that 1 hour was brutal, so I'm trying to give us a bit of a break. I don't want to just totally run us into another one if you guys aren't ready, or throw us into another one if you guys aren't ready, but just let me know if you're ready to spin the wheel. Stephen King is my idol. Yeah, I'm not, I think Stephen King is great, right? Like, he's a great writer, but I am not big, and I know this is going to be a hot take, as the kids say, I guess, but I'm not a big, like, I don't really read a lot of horror, or like thriller books. But yeah, he is a great writer, great author. Spin the wheel. All right, McKenna's ready. Margot's ready. Let's see, Christina. I've been having to do a lot more plotting for my thriller because of the intricate details of crime. Yes, LMAO, and I'm trying not to frustrate myself. You know what's so funny is, like, I love true crime. Like, I listen to My Favorite Murder, I watch Law and Order, but I just have never gotten into reading, like, thrillers or horror for some reason. McKenna coming through with all the creative wheel, emojis. I love it. Ian says, spin the thing. We live for the randomness. Christina says, spin it. Spin. All right, here we go. I swear, now, if we get hit with another 1 hour, because we abide by the wheel no matter what, but if we get hit with another 1 hour, that's going to be brutal. I'm not going to lie. I need something a little smaller this time. Fingers crossed. Here we go. Oh my gosh. All right, well, we'll take what we can get, right, guys? It wasn't an hour. We're just going to be happy it wasn't an hour. Not ass putting in 1 hour at the last second there. I swear, you know what we're gonna do next time? I'm gonna wait a minute and let you guys put in the predictions, because this is actually so funny to see everyone's predictions in retrospect. Let's see, Margot got it. Yeah. For a good 45er, that's not too horrible, right? You know? Let's see. Let me get this set up for us here. Let's see. Yeah, Beth guessed 35. I mean, all y'all that said 35 were pretty close. 55, not too far off, you know? Margot got it. Hit the nail right on the head. McKenna says slay. Christina says, oof, that was close though. Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's okay. Feel free to step away during this one and then come back if you need to. I like these longer sprints actually. Yeah, well, like I said, the last one, the hour-long one, worked out better for me than I thought it would. It was brutal, but in a good, constructive way. So hopefully the 45er will be the same. Oh, Margot said she cheated. She said, oh, that was me cheating. It had already spun. Margot. Yeah, I think next time I'm gonna wait and give you guys a second to cast your predictions into the chat, you know? Maybe manifest what time you want. But for now, we got a 45er. We're gonna make it happen, right, team? We're all in this together. Gonna start singing and chanting like the Wildcats. You know, High School Musical. But we got this. And I guess best of luck, everyone. I will see you on the other side of 45 minutes. Here we go. Timer starts now. Okay. How did that sprint go for everyone? Was it better than the last one, worse than the last one? You can share your word count, how many chapters you beta read, whatever you feel like sharing. Let's see, let me minimize this, pull the chat back up. Let's see. Oh, also welcome to the stream, Grace. Hannah. Sorry, happy to have you here, Hannah Grace. Let's see. Xena, am I saying that right? Xena finished a set of slides. Nice. I did some reading, which was fun. Read 3 chapters. Nice, Ash. Yeah, I need to catch up on some reading. I feel like I've been majorly in like YouTube, the YouTube zone the last few days. I need to get back into reading. I'm currently reading, what's it called? Lies of Locke Lamora. Has anyone read that? I'm not very far into it, but my brother highly recommended it. And I've tried to read it before, but it's a long one. Let's see. Yeah, Lies of Locke Lamora by Scott Lynch. Let's see here. And Ash, I'm curious to know what you're reading if you feel like sharing. Unless you're just doing beta reading. If you're doing beta reading, then you don't have to tell us because I know it might be a secret. So, okay, Beth said, read 1 chapter and got dinner cooked and ready to eat. Nice. Very good. Very productive. Nice. Happy to have you here, Hannah. Zaina. Ooh, I love that. That's great. Not to be dorky, but you will learn that I'm a big spreadsheet person, and I actually am gonna write that down somewhere because I just know myself and I'm gonna forget how to say it, and I don't want to forget how to pronounce it correctly. Let's see. There we go. Okay, Zaina. That's so cool. That's such a cool name. Okay. Now I will not forget. Okay, Christina wrote 314 words. Wow, that's a good haul. That's a good chunk of words. I feel like I'm right around that vicinity, too. Let me see. Yeah, I got 339, so we're simpatico, Christina, you and I. Let's see, making a bit of progress on a problem scene. Margot, you and me both. It feels good, though, doesn't it? It's a bit of a trek while you're doing it, but it feels good. Locke is on my TBR. Nice. Yeah, it's been on my TBR forever. It's one of the ones where I keep getting it from the library, and I only read, like, a chapter at a time before I have to return it, because I usually only read at night before I go to bed. Let's see. It's just the only time I can fit it in, you know? Wrote, like, 60 words and laid on the floor. You know what, McKenna? Valid. Valid. Sometimes that's just how it is. You know? And 60 words, you know, that's progress. Progress is progress. So, the type that has things like a bracket that says, I don't fucking know. Trying to see. Oh, you mean, okay, making progress on a scene where you, like, marked it and you were like, I need to circle back to this kind of thing. Gotcha, gotcha. I do that sometimes. I try not to do it a ton, but I do it sometimes if I have a spot where I know I can loop back and plant like a nugget of like foreshadowing. You know what I mean? Like if I know characters are going to have an in-depth conversation at one point, but I don't know yet what I want to foreshadow there, but I know there's going to be something later on that I want to loop back and plant, I'll like mark it like that. I use the curly brackets for stuff like that because typically then when you do Control F, you can find it a lot more quickly with the squiggly brackets because I'm never going to use that for anything else really. Which is very helpful if past me. Yeah, it does help to mark those things and highlight them and make them easy to like loop back and work on for sure. Ian says, I posted on Instagram. What an exciting time for all of my followers. Nice! Hey, I'm telling you, the Instagram thing, I don't know why I feel like YouTube is easier than Instagram, but I feel like it is. And it's so funny because Instagram is just a picture and some words, but I just find that so hard to keep up with. So congrats, Ian. I consider that an achievement. That's an honor. Yeah, I'm very type A over here. So I try to just obviously I'm not going to remember everyone's names and stuff, but I try to write it down if I think about it. Because, you know, it's your name. I want to try and get it right when you're in the room participating, you know? So, in the chat participating. McKenna, the dreaded meeting of future me with the problems past me left behind. Yeah, and see, it's a dangerous game because if you do it too much, then yeah, you get to the end of your story and you're like, you get to the end of your draft and you're like, sweet, I hit my word count, I've gotten all my content in, I feel solid, and then you loop back and you're like, crap, I've got like 15 of these chilling that I need to address. Masha, welcome! Did I say that right? I feel like, I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, but if not, I will write it down. If you spell it phonetically for me, I will try and say it better in future. But awesome, happy to have you. You were here the other day, right? Yeah, glad to be back. Okay, I'm like, I remember your icon, your photo, I think, from the other night. I'm pretty sure I'm saying it right, Masha. Okay, floor time is important. It is. I hear it's really good for your back, too. Can anyone confirm? I don't know. But, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so Masha. Okay, I got it right, Masha. Okay, cool. Yeah, Masha's confirming, floor time is important. YouTube is so much easier than IG. I agree. I did recently, well, not super recently, but when I started doing YouTube, I started doing a little bit of Blue Sky, too. But I gotta tell you, I can't get the hang of that either to save my life. I don't know how any of it works. Can't figure it out. YouTube is way easier for reach. Yes. I mean, I think the easiest is probably TikTok, but geez, TikTok has like all kinds of behavior on there, I guess would be the way I would put it. It's turned into a bit of like the Wild West, you know what I'm saying? Okay, Masha, I got you right. I got you. Alright, cool. Yeah, I feel like that was pretty productive for everyone, so I'm feeling good. I have also gotten myself back over my 33333 word count, you know, my 33,333, which was important to me. So I've worked my way back after chopping out almost 900 words at the beginning of tonight's stream. Glad to have worked my way back up. And I definitely think I'm on a much better track now than I was before. I just like this scene a lot better. And it's flowing a lot better. So it just made a lot more sense. I should have done brackets for this because at this point I'm just trying to finish and I'm fully skipping scenes. I totally get you. I was doing the same thing, especially with, I had an action scene early on that I was like, I'll circle back to this. And by the time I got just a hair further in the chapter, I was like, nope, I'm going to circle back and make myself do this now because otherwise I'm going to end up with way too many of these at the end. But you know what? I feel like, are you on a first draft, Christina? I don't know if I've ever asked you that, but if you're on a first draft, I think it's all about just getting everything on the page whatever way you have to, in my opinion. Someone said, what did they say? There was a really great quote. It was like, you can't revise a blank page. So I feel like even if you have to go out of order and kind of skip around, as long as you eventually get it all on the page, That's all that matters. Masha says, I gotta edit my one shot. Nice, okay. I'm really jealous of the people in the editing stage. You know, like I just want to know what it feels like to go back and reread your work and be able to just kind of be fine tuning it. I'm very jealous of that. Oh, I skipped ahead. Hold on. Christina said, was afraid I would get stuck if I tried to force myself to write a description heavy scene just now. Yeah, that is the trade-off, right? Like if you do the heavy lifting scenes, you could get burnt out, and then you're like, maybe I need a break from this for a week, and then a week turns into 2 weeks, and before you know it, you've stepped away from the project for too long. So it is tricky, right? And this is also where I think it's different strokes for different folks, right? Like I like a lot of order and organization, and like I can't leave stuff in circle back too often because it will stress me out. But if you're more of like a gardener or a pantser, like that may work way better for you, to just work on the parts that you're drawn to as you go. Let's see, either that or edit my young adult novella. Novella? Novelette? Novella? Novelette? Very cool. So you have options. Well, your options are editing one or the other, right? Let's see. I'm looking back up here, but I think, yeah, editing one shot. So yeah. So you're doing editing either way, Masha. So could flip a coin on this one. You could. Christina says, yeah, it's a first draft, and yeah, I feel the same. I gotta just chug through right now. Yeah. Yeah. And I definitely think, like, listening to, like I said, like, I just ripped out quite a few words, but I feel much better for it. So sometimes going through that hard stuff is the only way to get to the good stuff. It's just part of the game, I guess. Part of the skill set. Yeah, my 2.5 draft is literally just me filling in all those blank spots and brackets. Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm glad to know I'm not the only one. I mean, I knew I wasn't the only one, but it's refreshing to hear other people talk about going back and fixing spots they skipped over or like fleshing them out. Because I definitely have a couple, especially my earlier chapters, that I have left. So that is nice to hear. I'm not alone. Nope, game plan. Edit one shot. Simp over a novel I'm writing because of my ex-girlfriend. Oh my gosh. You know, I do feel like that sort of emotion is such good motivation for a great story. It might end up being like a really great work of art. You never know. To be honest, I think I can jump around because I know what the rest will generally be. So I'm a landscaper. Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, I think a lot of people fall in the middle, honestly. Jumping around is honestly so smart. I was the type of person that left no brackets in draft one, but there's so much more I've fleshed out in this draft. Nice. Yeah, I definitely feel like if you're, as Margot says, a landscaper or a gardener, I would think that there's merit to moving around the draft and working on the parts that you feel called to work on in the moment, or drawn to working on. I mean, I've heard of people that start with their major scenes and then flesh it out like in between, So it's really whatever works best for you. Jumping around while editing between perspectives has been helpful when things get difficult. Yeah, I could picture that, right? Like I could see if you're hitting a wall and you're getting frustrated, I could see how it would be better to jump to a different part of the book, or whatever you're working on, but to jump to a different section or a different point of view, different perspective, as opposed to taking time away from the project, like hitting a wall and feeling burnt out and walking away. I could totally see that. So, all right. Let's see. How are you all feeling about knocking out one more sprint? I usually try and go till about 9:30. It's about 9 now, but as I say here, the wheel is God. So if we do another sprint, we spin the wheel, and what happens, happens. So if it lands on an hour, I'm going to go for an hour. You know, we'll just go however long the wheel tells us to. But what are you all feeling? You feeling up to another sprint, or let me know in the chat what you're thinking. Margot says she's down for one more. Hannah says, I'm so ready. Perfect. Christina said yes. Yeah, also for those of you that aren't in the Eastern time zone, I've said it before, but I'm going to try and do a late night stream at some point where I'll go a little later, because I know for a lot of people this hits right around dinner time and it can be tricky, and unfortunately sometimes when I'm wrapping up, people are just getting going. So I will do a late night spread at some point, and I'll be sure to put it in the title the day I decide to do that, so that y'all know, you know, you can expect to lock in for maybe a longer amount of time than normal if you're not in the Eastern time zone. So not sure if I said this or not yet, but Christina said yes. So I write it down. Zaina said, yeah, let's go. And Masha's like, yeah, another sprint. All right, let's do it then. Let's take a gander at what the wheel has in store for us. I'm going to switch us over here. We'll see what happens. All right, everyone. Here's what we're going to do. It's like 1:59 a.m. Oh my gosh. You're a trooper, Zaina. You are a trooper. We appreciate you being here. We really do. Hopefully it is somewhat productive for you. At least there will be a good trade-off, hopefully. If anyone would like to put a prediction in the chat, you've got, I'm going to time you. I'm going to give you, let's say 20 seconds to pop a prediction in the chat before I spin the wheel. All right. 20 seconds on the clock. If you want to pop in a prediction, here we go. It's counting down. I'm seeing a lot of 25s. That's pretty optimistic. Zaina's got a 45. All right, there's our 20 seconds. Okay, I'm seeing a few 35s, a few 25s. All right, let's see what happens. All right, here we go. 40. Did anyone guess 40? Man, everybody was guessing all around it, but nobody quite hit 40. Good try, though, guys. Some of y'all were real close. The 35ers were real close. Let's see. I'm going to get us set up at 40 here. Let's see, we're going to flip through some of these too real quick before we hop in. Yeah, Zaina, that's commitment, being up at like 2 a.m. doing this. 25, 25, 25. Zaina was close. Masha was close. I consider the 35s pretty close, so Hannah was close. Dami said 1 hour. You know what, Dami? You know, I don't blame you for getting out ahead of that one, just in case. Yeah, Hannah says, so close. Yeah, we were all pretty close. All right. Go ahead and just, you know, give yourself a quick little stretch if you need to before we jump in. I've got the timer set. We can do this, team. I believe in you. I believe in me. I believe in we. We got this. I will see you all. Let's see. Hold on. Yep, I will see you all. Oh, one last one. Quick chat. Masha says, my goal is to get to 1,500 words. I currently have 410. Hey, like I said, I believe in you. You got this. We can do it. We can do it together. All right. I will see you all on the other side of 40 minutes. Best of luck, everyone. right. How did that sprint go for everyone? I actually ended at like a point where I kind of wish I was going longer because things are getting really juicy now, but I did get some good writing in. I feel like I didn't get a ton of words, but I got good writing, you know, I think. Let's see. I got about 296 words. And keep in mind, I'm kind of thinking through a lot of this as I'm writing because this is a shift in my outline a little bit. Let's see. Zaina said, oh, hold up. Zaina said, finished reviewing that chapter and continued reading a fanfic. Nice. Fanfic is so, like, I used to read a lot of fanfiction back, like, not a lot, but I used to read fanfiction back in the day. It's just so interesting to take, like, characters that already exist and put them in a new story. Let's see, 457 words in the nonsense scene, LOL. It is slowly getting less nonsensical. Nice. Hey, that's progress. Sometimes I feel like you have to get the words on paper too to work that stuff out, those kinds of scenes. You know, you need to write it a few ways, modge podge it together, and kind of see what works. Hannah says 475, and I spent way too long trying to figure out a character name. Girl, I'm going to show you something real quick. This is going to make you feel a lot better about that. Hold on. On my character spreadsheet, I have multiple tabs, and one of them is called backup names, okay? And I'm going to show you this real quick. Hold on. I think it'll blur. Okay. This will be really quick, everyone. But this is the doc that holds all my character names, and each column belongs to a different character, and all the words underneath that character are all the backup names that I generated for each of those characters. Okay? So, and then the columns on the left, I color code and track how often I use the different letters in the alphabet for names of characters and places so that I don't repeat using like so that I don't have too many characters or places that start with the same letter, if that makes sense. So I completely empathize with spending a long time on character names. I firmly believe that they matter and they're important. So let's see. So I empathize with you, Hannah, is what I'm saying. Zaina said, by the way, where did you make your Chapter 8 mood board? Pinterest? Yes. I got most of the images... Oh, sorry, let me take that timer off. I got most of the images on Pinterest, and then I also use Canva, and I prefer Canva for the images where I removed the background and laid them over top, and I also use Canva to kind of put the background behind the vision board so that it looks nice laying over top of my stream overlay and that sort of thing, and on vlogs. So yes, but thank you for asking. I did it in Canva with Pinterest images. Okay, Beth finished a few more chapters. Nice, very productive. Christina says, I deleted like 200 words. Oops, no problem. I deleted almost 900. You're not alone. Not alone at all. Let's see. I had to reconfigure this scene, having this one thing happen first instead of second kind of thing. I get that, changing the order around. It has to happen sometimes. Low-key annoyed about it, though. Yeah, I get it. It is annoying. So organized. Thank you. Yeah, that's just how my mind works. I need to get it all down on paper to make sense of it and to, like, double-check things. Thank you, Hannah. So many names. Yeah. Thanks, Margot. Now, keep in mind, too, I should say, like, that character doc, I have this story outlined as at least a duology, possibly a trilogy, but I'm leaning more towards a duology. And some of those characters do not exist in this first book. They'll be introduced in the second. But yeah, you gotta think ahead for some of that stuff. Love it. Thank you, Zaina. OMG, Evelyn, I do the same thing with the alphabet thing. Yeah, I feel like you have to, because if you don't, like, I found myself, for example, instinctively using a lot of H names for some reason. And I caught on pretty quickly and was like, okay, I need to cut that out because people are going to read this and get confused. So let's see. Me too. I haven't tested Pinterest's collage feature myself. I usually use Canva. Oh, I haven't done Pinterest's collage feature. I haven't done that. For Canva, if you pull up Pinterest, if you have them up on two separate monitors, you can literally like click and drag an image from Pinterest and just drop it into the Uploads tab on Canva and then assemble it in Canva. That's what I do. I didn't even know Pinterest had a collage feature. I mean, it makes sense, but yeah. Christina says, I have a list of all my character names, and I track the first letter of everyone's name. So there's, like, not everyone with an H name or something. That's how funny. How funny. Yeah, I found myself trying to use H a lot, too. I don't know why. Masha's back! Hey, Masha. Ian says, no idea what I did. Apologies, tonight hasn't been that best. Oh, I'm so sorry, Ian. That's rough. That's rough, Ian. I'm sorry. I have noticed you weren't as, like, active in the chat, and I kind of thought, I was like, I wonder if Ian's having a down night, I'm sorry. Hopefully things will look up soon. Family stuff is hard. It's hard. Hiya, Masha. Sadly, only got 677 words in my 20 minutes here. Masha. Okay, in that whole time, and I felt pretty locked in, and I still think I only got, like... Let me look at this real quick. I only got 296 words. I write really slowly. 677 is pretty damn good for 20 minutes, in my opinion. We went from 410 to 1,087. Yeah. I mean, come on. You're on your A game. You came to work tonight. You know it. Alright. Well, or more... Were you the one, Masha, who it's like 2 a.m. where you are? Anyways, you came to work. Whatever time it is for you. Then I have a master list of character names because I'm afraid despite writing completely different novels, I'll end up with the same 4 names across everything I write. Christina, that's so smart. I'm not far enough into my writing journey to need that yet, but I'm going to lock that away for later because that's very smart. OMG, Masha, that's like a lot of words. So yeah, that's how I feel. Masha says they're going to pray to the gods for Ian. Much appreciated. Yeah, Ian is he is an MVP, okay? He's one of the greats. So definitely wishing him a better day tomorrow, for sure. Hannah says, Masha, shut up. That's amazing. That's how I feel. And I was editing for 5 minutes of that, okay. Zaina was the one that was really... Okay, I knew it was one of the two of y'all. I was like, one of you is up in the early AM hours. Hannah's also wishing Ian all the best. CST, okay. Almost 3 a.m. for Zaina. Jeez Louise. Yeah, you're gonna have to go to bed soon. Christina says, listen, neither am I. This current whip will be my first ever completed novel. Fingers crossed. Nice, Christina. Very nice. I'm doing my best, friends. Life is chaotic at times. Isn't it just, Ian? Isn't it just? Yeah. You're a tough cookie, though, Ian, and you're really smart, and if anyone can navigate this, I'm sure you can. you know, but our thoughts are definitely with you for sure. For sure, for sure. Yeah, Masha's sending good vibes. It's just keep doing your best. That's all we can do, right? Like, just gotta go one day at a time. One day at a time, one foot in front of the other. I'm definitely just anticipating that I'll use the same names over again later. Yeah, I kind of have that feeling too. I love, like, a lot of the names that I'm using. Like I said, I put a lot of thought. You saw my whole sheet. I put a lot of thought into each person's name, so I don't know. I'm hoping that as I write future stories, I mean, I need to finish this one first. I'm getting way too far ahead of myself, but I'm hoping if I write future stories that the characters will be different enough that it'll steer me towards different names, but you never know. Never know. All right, well, I think we may start wrapping up for the night, guys. I will say, please, if you like the stream, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I think I'm wicked close to 400 subscribers right now. So if anyone isn't subscribed and wants to help me cross over that line, that would be much appreciated. I also have a vlog, which should be coming out tomorrow. Fingers crossed. It's mostly edited, so hopefully, I'm really hoping to get that up tomorrow before my evening plans, so be on the lookout for that. Let's see, we've got a couple more comments here. I have a couple of characters that are from roleplays and were used multiple times. 2 Sorens and 2 Hakitos. Ooh, I love those names. Those are great. There's other repetitions I cannot think of. Yeah, I mean, okay, so I think I've gotten a couple more during this stream even, because when I last checked it was like 397 or something. So yeah, if anyone isn't subscribed, I think you all are, but if anyone isn't and wants to help me cross that line, that'd be great. But if not, that's okay too. Appreciate having you here no matter what. So thanks for the stream. Thank you, Goo. Thank you, Margot. Thank you, Beth. Thank you, Zaina. Oh, and I have another stream next Tuesday. So if this was productive for you, my next one is already scheduled on the books up on YouTube for next Tuesday. So trying to do Tuesdays and Thursdays. So just be on the lookout for that if you find these helpful. Oh, you guys are so sweet. Thank y'all so much. Be brave, be a light. Remember that you're all so, so loved. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye, guys.